Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are, when you're watching. I'm Mike Cantalupo. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, but still going to be him. Many of the top athletes from the 2000s remain pretty well recognized today. Kurt Warner, he landed a gig with the NFL Network. Derek Jeter, now he's part owner of the Miami Marlins. But many of our favorite athletes from 20 to 10, like the last decade, they've kind of been out of the spotlight, which makes me wonder, what are they up to? So now I found out what they're up to. I'm Mike Cantalupo, and today we present 10 forgotten athletes of the 2000s. Where are they now? Hey, if you like this channel, if you like the idea behind the video, hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so that you could keep seeing our videos. Jamal Lewis, he was a Ravens star running back from 2000 to 2006. He did win Super Bowl 35 with them. He was the 2003 Offensive Player of the Year. He had 7 1,000-yard seasons. He ended his career with the Cleveland Browns in 2009. He actually admits that he has CTE, or at least fears it. He's battled depression and suicidal thoughts. He sold his Super Bowl ring because of a need for money. He's now president of the Southeast Exhibits and Metro Retail Solutions. He keeps making the most of his life. I hope he turns out fine, and I am proud of what he's doing. Jennie Finch, she was the best softball player ever, like the one that all of us knew. She was well known for her crazy pitching speed, her looks. Those helped, sadly. She retired from softball in 2010. Now she's married with 3 kids. She appeared on Dancing with the Stars season 26. She's been helping out charities, delivering scholarships. That being said, she's also always on the celebrity softball game on ESPN during the MLB All-Star Weekend. I guess all's well for her. Gary Sheffield, I'm just going to be doing his batting stance the whole time. He was one of baseball's top pure sluggers ever. 509 career home runs, 9-time All-Star. He won the 97 World Series with the Marlins. Then he last played for the Mets, actually in 2009. Now he's working as a sports agent. Jason Grilli became his first client. I want Gary Sheffield to be my agent. Paul Kariya, he's one of the NHL's all-time greatest goal scorers. He's phenomenal at skating and shooting. He was the face of the Mighty Ducks franchise. Then he led them to the 2003 Stanley Cup Final. He won an Olympic gold medal with Canada in 2012. He's been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2017. He retired early because of concussions, though, and he was actually bitter about hockey, and because he really just dealt with a lot of injuries. He stayed away from the game for a while. He talked to Sportsnet in 2017. He revealed how he's now an active surfer with some former NHL players, and surfing helps him stay in shape and live just like kind of like a cool, laid-back life. Chris Webber, we all know him for the infamous timeout call in the 1993 National Championship game, but then he went on to have a great career. 5-time NBA All-Star. He was part of the Sacramento Kings powerhouse in the early 2000s. You don't get to say that about the Sacramento Kings anymore. He averaged 20.7 points per game in his career. He fell off the map following his retirement in 2008. Initially, he became an NBA on TNT analyst. He opened a restaurant in Sacramento, but that closed in 2009. He produced some tracks. Yeah, did a little music production in 2016. He appeared in the Uncle Drew film, which, I mean, Kyrie Irving, Shaq, Reggie Miller, they were all in it. Jake Plummer, he was a quarterback for the Cardinals and the Broncos. He was a 2005 Pro Bowler. He led Denver to the 2005 AFC Championship game. He handed Tom Brady his first ever playoff loss. He retired in 2007 after a trade to the Buccaneers. He actually became a star handball player after retiring, and he's advocating for marijuana now. Jake Plummer, that makes actually perfect sense. He's raised funds for cannabis research. He's pushed the NFL to change its policy on marijuana. He works closely with the Doctors for Cannabis Regulation on the NFL Steering Committee. How cool. Way to go, Jake Plummer. Peter Forsberg, he was a legendary Colorado Avalanche star. He led them to the 96 and 2001 Stanley Cups. He was the 2003 Hart Trophy League MVP winner. Injuries slowed him down near the end of his career. He last played in the NHL in 2010, 2011, just 2 games though. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He, his father, and wife do business expenditures now. He has investments in real estate, golf courses, shoe brands. One of his sons has actually began skating, so I guess life's good for Forsberg in his hometown. Jason Giambi, one of my favorite players in baseball history, one of the top hitters in the 90s and 2000s. Yes, he admitted to using steroids. He was the 2000 AL MVP, a 5-time All-Star, 440 career home runs. He last played in 2014 for the Indians. The Yankees actually asked him to join the organization during the 2017 offseason, but he said no, interesting enough. Giambi now coaches one of his kids' T-ball teams and considers managing in the majors when his kids grow up. So right now, he's starting off in T-ball. Anthony Walker, 3-time NBA All-Star. He won the 2006 championship with the Miami Heat. He did average 17.6 points per game in his career. He was a big superstar for the Celtics in the early 2000s, but then he last played in 2007 for Minnesota. Tough to say, but he blew $100 million. Became broke. Now he works to teach young athletes how to manage their money better. At least he found a way around it. He works in broadcasting for the SEC network. He launched Southside Heat, which is a podcast, and he said there's nothing he's embarrassed about. I'm really glad that he ended up turning his life around. Sean Alexander, he was a star running back for the Seahawks. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler. He was the 2005 NFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. He led the Seahawks to a Super Bowl 40 appearance, 27 touchdowns in 2005. He was out of this world, but he was also out of the NFL after 2008. Now he works as a motivational speaker. He has a podcast called Finish the Game. Make sure to check that out. He's married with 8 kids, apparently a happy and busy man. What other athletes should we also talk about? We can do this as a full segment. Actually, I like it a lot. Until next time, I'm Mike Cantalupo. Make sure to subscribe.
My knee.